Hey, it's Krista, and welcome back to another episode of Find the Facts, a series where we talk to actual experts to get real information on things that we may have been taught wrong, and where we also just learn about things that we don't know but should. I'm really excited about today's episode because we are going to be talking about penises. I don't have a penis, but I'm very interested in them. Without further ado, let me introduce you to our expert, who is also the Dick Doc on TikTok.
Dr. Zimmerman originally started in family medicine and has performed aesthetic procedures since the 1900s.
Let's get to it.
We get questions like, are finger size or shoe size or nationality related to the size of the penis? And there is no good science to support that. There have been a number of studies, but there really isn't a lot of good science. There's a lot of good anecdotal information. We have seen hundreds of guys since we've been doing this for the past 6 years, and I can speak to the fact that the exterior presentation of the gentleman has very little to do with what you'll find under the belt. I have the answer for the literature because, this has been a common question over the years. And you really have to wonder, are guys really staying awake with rulers and yardsticks and tape measures measuring these things? But for those that have, when it's erect, the average penis is about 5 inches. A little bit longer, a little bit shorter. And interestingly enough, the average penis at its widest circumference, which could be at the base or in the center or towards the tip, is about 4 3/4 to 5.1 inches around. So it's kind of interesting. It's the same distance around as it is long. Under 2.5 inches is considered a microphallus for anybody who's asking, am I too small? And even too small can still get the job done. So it's the dog in the fight. Puberty can happen at any time, and there's a broad definition of puberty, but I would say when a human comes off the assembly line, which is probably in their early 20s, they've probably achieved as much length and girth as they're likely to in this lifetime.
When you get older, can the size of your penis shrink up a little bit?
Unfortunately true, because Mother Nature is moving around the subcutaneous tissue. So just the way you lose volume in your face or your neck or the backs of your hands or any of your extremities, because folks come in talking about, I didn't have this stretchy skin, this chicken skin, this waddle. Well, down below, you're losing girth primarily, and with microfractures and use or lack of use, you can lose some length as well. So it truly is a use it or lose it kind of deal when it comes to penis length and maintaining girth. There's a penis. Penis on the beach. And he's a set length. The part that you can see from the body outwards is the part that people talk about lengthening, but the true length of the penis goes almost all the way back to the rectum. And just like an arm or a leg, it's difficult to make something longer without breaking it. So think about trying to, make someone taller. You can break the bones and reset them a little bit further apart, and you can gradually make somebody a little bit taller, but it's not something we tend to do. There are side effects and problems with that. And the same way with the penis. If you stretch it to the point where you damage the corpora cavernosa and the corpora spongiosum, which are the blood-filled balloons that cause the erection, then you may have erectile problems for life, and that's not worth the price of admission. To get length, you can do something called jilking, and your listeners can Google that. You can use penis pumps, which will give a temporary elongation of the penis. But it's like going to the gym. Once you stop going, things pretty much go back to the way you would have been if you'd never done it. So we can certainly do girth, and girth is probably more important because in terms of how we satisfy our partners, the first 2 inches or so of the vaginal canal has the most sensory elements. And more girth is probably more important to stimulating and satisfying your partner than more length. The materials we're using are all FDA approved in the United States. There have been studies on these materials since, several decades worth. So we know the materials are safe in the human body. So they're used off-label. All of them have been FDA approved for use on the face, and we know all about fillers in the face and the risks thereof. The way we're doing this in this potential space between buccal fascia and the skin, there's not a whole lot to interfere. So we don't have innervation problems. Those are the corpora cavernosa on top and the corpora spongiosum on the bottom. Those are the blood-filled balloons that cause the penis to be erect. Going through the corpus spongiosum on the bottom is the urethra, so the transit from the bladder that allows urine and semen to get out of the tip of the penis. So we don't want to do anything that messes with that or compresses it so things can't get out. But between this inner conduit and the outer skin is a potential space, almost like the space on the back of your hand or the skin on your neck between the muscle and the outside skin, where you can fill it and it distends virtually a lot safely. The sensation is still all on the outside. The waterworks, the pneumatic function is all on the inside. So this is really icing the cake sort of from the inside out to make it wider and the benefits thereof. A lot of pros and cons. As a family practitioner, delivered hundreds, maybe thousands of babies and had the opportunity to circumcise or not circumcise those babies. And the pendulum has shifted in terms of our understanding. Is it necessary? Probably not. May there be health benefits in terms of decreased STDs, possibly decreased HIV, possibly decreased for the female side cervical cancer, because the penis can be a conduit to carry germs and viruses up the vaginal canal. As long as somebody is able to withdraw the foreskin, keep the tethers from forming, and keep the area clean so they're not low-grade fungal infections or bacterial infections, a circumcision probably isn't necessary.
So I have seen videos and stuff about people who are saying people who aren't circumcised actually have better sex or they have better feeling. Is there any scientific evidence to back that up?
Think about if you've ever had a broken arm or a broken leg. If you have an extremity in a cast and you take the cast off, it seems because you've had nothing to cause sensation for 8 weeks, that it seems super sensitive. And I think that's the same thing as if you have a foreskin and it protects the glands of the penis, that distal tip, that it gets less stimulation, that as the penis elongates during erection, that it gets more attention. And so it may feel more sensitive. The actual nerves are performing the same. And the female analogy there is the clitoral hood, that when things are at rest and the clitoris isn't as exposed, there's less sensation. And during arousal, then the hood draws back because of the clitoris getting engorged, and it gets more attention and it gets more sensation. Cleanliness is good, but a certain amount of natural oils needs to be allowed to be on the skin. Especially if you have a foreskin, he needs to be able to pull it back and cleanse the collection of oils and things out so it doesn't ferment or become a place for bacteria or viruses to grow, or fungus. If you rinse well and it's not a body wash that has lots of fragrances or additives or things that would cause you to have an allergic reaction in a confined space or contact dermatitis, I think you're probably fine. If they go to Google it, your listeners are going to be looking up Peyronie's. Peyronie's syndrome or disease is very common, and it doesn't matter which way it goes, whether it's the left or the right, the up or the down, or some squiggle in between. As long as it's functional and doesn't cause pain and you're able to urinate and have good relations without pain, it's not an issue. As long as the penis doesn't curve past about 30 degrees, may actually be more enjoyable to their partner. There can be benefits. I'm not saying anybody should go out and intentionally do this, but it doesn't get in the way. If it goes past 30 degrees, it can make relations uncomfortable for one or the other. And certainly there are times when a penis has been broken, when too much enthusiasm has occurred, and the penis, it's actually the corpora cavernosa, or the fibrous covering of the corpus cavernosa, gets broken. And just like a bone, it has to be repaired and splinted where it can heal broken like that. And then you won't have a good erection, and it can make life very challenging. Viagra is kind of an interesting drug. It was originally developed to treat pulmonary hypertension. A side effect of that is, guess what? It works down below the belt. Unfortunately, our giant pharma companies have strangled the price on it, and the price is ridiculous for the happiness that it brings. I wish it was free, or we could put it in the water for everyone who wanted it. Any of these used judiciously, and again, there have to be no medical contraindications, so you can't be on other cardiac medicines and things like that. I think it's a great drug. That and the other 5 phosphodiesterase inhibitors are all part of a class of drugs that can help erectile dysfunction.
Thanks again to Dr. Zimmerman, the Dick Doc on TikTok. Go follow him. He has amazing videos that have tons of great information. As always, if you have a topic that you want more information on, reach out to me at Call Me Krista Torres, and I'll do my best to find an expert who can get the answers for us.